Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome everybody, let's update our view on the gold market as well. So you can see here it's mostly the suggestion that we have made recently that probably it could be some volatility on the gold, and the statement of the European Central Bank could make impact on the performance of the gold market, not just because of the importance of the European Central Bank for the gold, but because of the cumulative effect of the all central banks, major developed central banks now turns to the hawkish rhetoric. And that, of course, do not make any impact on the gold. It definitely makes some resonance and impact on the gold market as well. Besides, I would say that on the gold, mostly we see the cumulative effect in general. So this is statement, this is previous rhetoric of the Bank of Australia, Canada, recent gross domestic product release, and anticipation of the coming Fed statement, Fed meeting next week, and the meeting of the Bank of England. Which is more important is because the Bank of England next week could become the first central bank who changed the rate. So it's really aggressive rhetoric. Market mostly has priced in already the possible rate change in November and mostly in December as well. And that, of course, could make impact on the gold market as well, mostly in terms of the sentiment. So it will not be some direct impact, but its overall sentiment of rising interest rates across the board and making the money more expensive, not only the United States dollar, but the Great British pound, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. So as in general money becomes more expensive, it makes pressure on the commodities, as gold in particular. So external background on the gold market as yesterday as today mostly mixed. Because take a look on interest rates, we see some bounce, which is looks bearish for the gold, at least tactically. On the dollar index, we see the collapse recently, which is supportive to the gold. And as a result, overall impact you could see on the chart. So nothing actually serious has happened. The market stands mostly in the same range. Well, what could do currently? In the current circumstances, guys, I wouldn't consider taking the long position. But many reasons. So you probably already know, we talked about this many times within the few months. That's sentiment of the gold shows no shine, no even ray of some positivity. So market is losing the attractiveness because investors are running to the riskier assets, and with the rising interest rates, gold market becomes not very interesting. So in this situation is not changing. So based on the sentiment indicators, we see that investors in general gradually, slowly, but closing the positions in the gold. So with the common events on the next week, I think that chances to see the breakout of this channel and downside drop at least to the 1760 now looks very probable. So from that standpoint, I wouldn't consider taking any long position in the gold market here. Besides, here the overall situation remains bearish, so we consider the divergence that we've got here. The market wasn't able to pass through this resistance as well, turning to sideways action. Well, here you could recognize, by the way, kind of the triangle consolidation, so it is possible to see. Well, if you would like to still buy the gold and trying to maybe some wild card, to get some wild card, maybe something will happen and gold will keep just rising. Well, in this case, just try to buy the gold as close to the support line as possible, just to minimize your risk. And you could place stop somewhere slightly below these lows to not lose too many of your assets. So if you would like to play the wild card, some I don't know, some occasional event maybe on the next week during the Fed statement or something. But in general, overall sentiment, the technical picture tells that we are not considering currently taking the long position. On the hourly chart, I'll take a look what we have. The XOP target that we have described, actually the place not bad. So initially it was the pullback, later it was some reaction, but it's volatility on the gross domestic product, as you can see. But in general, market was able to stay inside of this consolidation that we discussed recently. Market now, let's take a look, has hit the upper border, now is coming lower, and it means that, well, by the normal technical price action, it should keep going to the lower border. We said that chances on the breakout are really significant, so we will not be too surprised if we will see later, maybe not today, but maybe next week, as market will try to break it down and just keep going lower. So that's what we have currently. At this moment, guys, personally, I do not see any valuable patterns for trading. So 222 here is played out already. If you have short position, you probably could try to keep it, but at this moment, no new patterns have been formed. So you can see market in general keeps short-term patterns well. They're working, as we said, but they need some skills from the traders to manage position fastly, moving stops to the break-even and extracting the result, taking the profit, because sometimes action based on the pattern happens very fast within a few hours or even minutes, and you will have to act fast when you're dealing with these patterns. So that's the problem when you're dealing on the gold market with the intraday charts. So let's keep watching, and probably situation will be more clear once market will out of the consolidation. Depending on the direction, we probably should get the next step on the market. So that's actually what we have currently on the gold.